Hello everyone and welcome back to the 31 Days of THORGIWEEN, and this is Viewer Request Week. That's right, all month long I've been taking requests from you guys on what you want to see me review, and today's request is coming from @RickGentuza on Twitter, or as he is more commonly known, King Explosion Murder. And yes, I am picking this request because his name is a reference to My Hero Academia. It's my show, I'll pick favorites however I want. Anyway, his request is for Shin Godzilla. Now, Shin Godzilla is a reboot of the classic kaiju character, and when I say it's a reboot, I mean they're going back to the start. Yeah, Godzilla over the years has become a beloved figure who saves mankind from other monsters. In fact, even in the most recent American reboot, they realized they had to make him the hero and give him something to fight. But that wasn't how he started. He started as a giant monster that was here to destroy Japan and serve as a warning of the dangers of nuclear power. So when I say we're going back to the start, I mean it. This movie is all about Godzilla attacking Japan. Pretty simple concept, however, they do some stuff in this film that we don't normally see in Godzilla movies. Remember, the stories go that Godzilla was created from radiation, but I doubt he just popped out of a mushroom cloud fully grown. This film actually plays into that, and he has multiple stages. In fact, when he first pops up, he looks like this. I know someone out there is going to say spoiler alert because they didn't show this Godzilla off in the trailers, but trust me, it's better that you know this is coming. Otherwise, you will spend the next 10 minutes looking at your friends going, that's not him, right? We're getting a real Godzilla at some point in this film, right? But yes, you actually get to watch him transform. You watch him grow up from lizard puppet to the Godzilla you saw in your LSD-fueled nightmares. And you might think that joke was inappropriate, but I stand by it because this film gets dark and gruesome. That's another thing this movie does differently. You know how fun it is to watch monsters break through buildings and destroy the city as they rampage and fight? Yeah, that's great fun, right? Well, this film reminds you that you're a monster for feeling that way because it will stop to show you, hey, idiot, there were people in those buildings. Yeah, for generations, Godzilla has been seen as a hero, but it's really hard to look at anyone as a hero after you just watch them destroy buildings full of people. I swear I didn't even try for it this time. They're coming on their own now. This film is not afraid to go to the limits of what you knew about Godzilla and go beyond it to make it truly frightening. I mean, Godzilla was always unstoppable, but now when you see everything you throw at it failing to even graze him, followed by someone talking about how he has become something beyond God, yeah, it makes you really want to run and scream. It doesn't make it seem like a fun monster film, it makes it seem like something apocalyptic. And this film isn't afraid to get disturbing. Name me the last time you saw Godzilla erupt a fountain of blood from his back. I'm not kidding, that happens in this movie. And you know how cool Godzilla's atomic breath was in the old films? Well, here it is in this film. I feel like this is as good a time as any to point out that this film was actually directed by two people who worked on Evangelion. Which I guess explains the twist ending that Godzilla is actually our teenage protagonist's mother. I'm kidding, that doesn't actually happen, but this film is so weird, I wouldn't have been surprised if it did. Now so far, I've been describing Godzilla tearing up the city, and out of 2 hours, that's maybe 20 minutes. 30 tops. The rest of this film is following the Japanese government as it deals with this attack. And that's it. This movie is 75% politicians, scientists, and bureaucrats discussing the situation. And it's kind of awesome! Yeah, you heard me. Just seeing people in suits talk about how to approach this situation is one of the best things in this movie. Okay, actually, this was the best thing in this movie. But this was a close second. This movie isn't scientists in a big lab creating robots to save the day. It's not the Prime Minister making stoic speeches about stopping the monster. It feels like how it would really go down. You see every branch of government, everyone that would be involved in this catastrophe, all having to get to work. You even see other countries join in to help, and it actually approaches this with a strong political message about the future of Japan, about their government and how it needs to come together and work hand in hand. It also talks about the relationship that Japan has with America, including our history and America's current military power in the world. Heck, they even give a reason why America would call him Godzilla and Japan would call him Gojira. And it shows our heroes having to go through so many different channels, having to jump through so many different hoops to achieve their goals. It actually makes the victory seem far more realistic and so uplifting. Like their government actually can do amazing things when they all work together. Thank God this movie didn't take place in America. They'd have the anti-Godzilla serum ready to go, only for the senator from Texas to filibuster until he got cuts to Medicaid added to the anti-Godzilla bill. And then when that finally got resolved, the House would go on vacation and hope that the Godzilla situation would resolve itself by the time they got back. Guys, this movie is political as hell. If you're gonna get mad at me in the comments for making that joke, you want no part of this film. But as I said, all of this political action is awesome, not just because it's got a very uplifting we can do it message, but because of the way it's shot. It's like Aaron Sorkin wrote this, and I'm not just saying that because there's a metric ton of people walking and talking in here. No, this movie is quick, it's witty, and it's so damn smart. There is one scene where specialists are gathered together to just brainstorm ways to take out Godzilla, and when they introduce that scene, it's one of the biggest hell yeah moments in the movie. However, this is also a problem of the film. Yes, all the political stuff in here is great because of how fast it moves, capturing that feeling of how many parts have to work together and how quickly they have to get this done, but sometimes it moves too fast. You have to pay attention in this film like there's going to be a quiz on it. There's a moment in here where they solved a big problem, got it into motion, were getting ready to save the day, and I just looked at it and went, wait, when did that happen? I was paying attention, I was watching this movie. How did I miss that? There's going to be a lot of moments like that because sometimes it just moves too fast. Also, in all honesty, there's really no characters in here. There's the spunky young American representative whose grandmother lived in Japan during World War II, and she has a nice role in here, even if it's really obvious she was not born in America. And then there's the main guy from Japan who is kind of a blank slate other than his hope that Japan will rise up and become something great, so basically he's just the living embodiment of the message of this film. But aside from that, you'll occasionally go, oh, that guy, I remember him, but that's the most you'll get. And I can't lie, as much as I enjoyed this movie, 2 hours is a bit much for me. Yes, all the political stuff in here is great, but it moves at the exact same pace for so much of this film that it kind of wears you down after a while. Even just cutting this by 15 minutes would have helped a lot. So even if I did have those problems with this film, this is still an amazing reboot to this character that captures the point of the original film while marvelously updating it for the modern era. So I'm still going to give this film an 8.7. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, and if you like Professor Thorgi and you like Godzilla, support us by buying a Thorgzilla shirt over at TeePublic. The link is in the description down below, or just go to teepublic.com/user/Professor Thorgi. And remember to come back for the rest of October for more THORGIWEEN reviews, and follow me on Twitter at Professor Thorgi. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, and happy Halloween.